There's a fresh story, come and see. With Olivia and Jenny, be who you need to be. Honest voices, safe and strong. Come as you are, you belong. So take a breath, let's begin. You're not alone, we're here again.
Okay, kick it off.
Olivia just told me I'm not allowed to rant this week. She's controlling my rants. So happy Friday, May 16th, I guess. To
Happy
those
Friday.
who celebrate.
Yes, May 16th.
May 16th. Welcome to the weekly wrap-up.
There you go. It is May 16th. It is Friday. It's 10:04 a.m.
Eastern.
Dropping things. There's peas on my desk.
There's
doing
peas?
Yeah, from my salad yesterday. I don't know. It's a mess.
All right.
They're doing the lawn outside. I thought I would start today by sharing something unhinged. Oh, we were going to share something we didn't tell each other.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I have something.
Okay.
It's a little unhinged, I guess. But it's been sunnier here. This week it's been really rainy. But
conceptually, it's been sunnier.
Conceptually, it's been sunny. So part of my daily routine is like I sleep with the fan on and the air conditioner fan on and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so then I get up in the morning and I turn everything off and I open my window because I love having the fresh air and no matter how hot it is. And then I might do my meditation and stuff and I love having the fresh air for all that. And I get dressed in the morning, but I don't want to, then I work out. I don't want to run through 100 pairs of socks in a day because it's annoying. Mm-hmm. So I've been putting my socks in the windowsill to have the sun get them warm. And it's so nice to go back to warm socks.
I love that. Sometimes I put my socks on the space heater for a couple minutes to get them warm. Warm socks are the best.
They are. Even in warm weather, they're nice. That warm sock material. So that's how we're starting today off.
I hope you have a warm sock.
I hope you have a warm, dry sock.
I mean, on the scale of things, a warm, wet sock is better than a cold, wet sock. But why is the sock wet is the real question.
I'm just staying quiet because I'm going to clip that out for the promo for this episode. So we had some exciting news this week. We are semifinalists in the Quill Podcast Awards. And I just want to say, I was trying to explain this for Dara. I'm going to explain for Dara. For those of you that I will explain for Dara and then explain for Dara. That on SmartList, Sean Hayes will explain Hollywood things for his sister Tracy, who is a non-Hollywood person. So
and kind of spacey, it sounds like.
Right, for Tracy. So we decided that we were going to explain real life things to our Hollywood friend, Dara.
Right, because SmartList, most of the people they know are in Hollywood.
Right.
And for us, most of the people we know are not in Hollywood.
Right.
So we picked Dara, who is in Hollywood.
For Dara, a lot of podcast awards are pay to play, which means you have to pay to enter them. And there's no guarantee that you will win. I was trying to explain this to Mom today.
I would love to run podcast awards and just make money. That sounds great.
They're not cheap. They're $250. They're
That's
expensive.
Low end.
Yeah.
$250, yeah.
The Quill Awards is run by Quill, which I believe is a marketing agency that does a lot of podcasts. And they run once a year, but it's like voting and then merit. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, there's a nomination phase, and then they pick 5 from those that are nominated, and then there's a voting phase, 3 advance, and then there's a panel phase,
which is a little scary. And so
I know now that I say it out loud.
Right. So we have made it all the way to the last stage. So we are 2
podcasts, not just
2
one
podcasts of ours.
This podcast you are listening to. Not based on the weekly wrap-up because we were nominated before we started the weekly wrap-up. We have to imagine it's going to happen.
And I'm going to be putting out another episode of our good stuff before they can listen to panel.
The good stuff.
This is an actual episode.
I'm kidding. And Jenny Says So, which is my podcast.
Which is probably one of the podcasts I'm proudest of just because I grew a lot as a producer since we started this.
I love it.
So we have made it through. We're in the top 3 of 2 categories.
Yes.
And now there's going to be judges. And I wonder what they judge on.
You know what I think is really nice, too, about this is that the categories that we're in are best branded podcast and best creative branded podcast. And so I really appreciate the fact that like our brand is part of this because everything we do for this company. Like, I mean, this is when Olivia and I say like, this is our life's work. Like I've been, as a 7-year-old whose parents were going through a divorce, I thought, what if I could just connect with other kids whose parents were going through divorce? Like, and I think that we have been coming to this work of supporting people and educating people and just making people feel brave and know that they're brave and like feel no shame. This is not a company that we're looking to sell and exit. This is it. This is our life's work. This is the culmination of everything that we've ever done. And it continues to grow as the culmination of everything we've ever done. You know, each thing that we do is a bit more like onto the mountain that we're building here. So the fact that it's not just like, oh, it's a fun podcast. It's like they're recognizing that it's connected to our brand, that it makes sense for our brand. I love that. That feels really good for me.
Yeah. Your podcast was nominated. Divorce Happens, which is more of my podcast, wasn't,
which I thought was weird, but
just, well, you know what? The first round of nominations were people voting. We had people vote to nominate us. I mean, the first round of nominations were people who nominated us, remember?
Yeah.
So maybe people just nominated you more than me. I don't know.
I don't remember the nomination phase, really.
Yeah, I asked a lot of people to nominate us. But you know what? It's great. I'm really, really proud. If you haven't listened to Jenny Says So, it's our version of Frasier. It's a super fun show. Where
I'm Frasier, she's Roz.
Right. I don't talk on it. But we have it's the first theme song that I put together, and it's just a fantastic show where we have one more episode for season 1 coming out in a week or two, and then we'll wrap on season 1.
So much.
And then you're yawning today?
I'm yawning. I don't really
know why. That was
me
yesterday. And then this summer we'll record season 2. We already have a bunch of stuff ready for it. So it's fantastic. And of course, A Fresh Story, which we've been working on for almost 3 years. And we have 200 plus episodes.
The less scary part to me that we've been doing A Fresh Story for 3 years is that we were only a year into Fresh Starts when we started doing it. And that felt like a really long time already. And now it's been almost 4 years that we've been running this company.
And I still hold true to the fact that the podcast has changed the company and our network more than anything else. Really, truly.
Yeah. I agree. I completely agree. Because I think it's a really, podcasts are a wonderful way of connecting with people. I mean, we recorded a great podcast yesterday with Liz Glenn, and who invited us on her podcast. And like, that's just not a person we would have necessarily gotten to spend an hour with before. And thinking of all the people that we have gotten. I mean, we talked about Laura Danger last week. Like, we got in with Laura Danger because we had a podcast.
Otherwise, the amount of celebrities this week I told you that we connected with, because I just connected them on Threads or Instagram and say, hey, come on our podcast, or I'd love to go on your podcast. So it's been a wonderful, wonderful journey. What's new in your week?
By the way, I just figured out why I'm yawning a lot.
Did you not get sleep?
I woke up at 5:30. And I did get sleep, but no, I ate something that has dairy. And I knew that I was doing that, but I wanted to. What was your question to me?
Any new coffee tables this week?
No new coffee tables, though the coffee table is transformative. Since we spoke, Thomas on Saturday, the day after we recorded, did get rid of the coffee table that had been left in the flat. I got home from being out with my friend Alana, and it was gone. And it's so nice. Like, the living room, I'm so sorry, it feels totally different, and it feels so open. And it's just really, I don't know, it's nice. I think moving to a place that he already lived in, and we sort of like moved into this place slowly because there was initially a flatmate here, and then we took over the space. It's sort of been this slow move. And, I think about all these things that like didn't exist when I got here, and the organization that didn't exist, and the sort of like, he was really just like, all of his stuff was sort of in the bedroom, and we've been able to really make this place a home. And it feels so nice. And also to start like collecting furniture, as a couple. It's pretty exciting. Like, I've collected furniture and then sold it all. And then I collected furniture and then left it all. And then I collected furniture and sold it all. And like, I don't think this coffee table is going to be with us forever. But it's nice. We're thinking about staining it. But the problem is, how do you stain something in a flat? Because stain smells. So Thomas's plan is that we should stain it and then go away for the weekend.
Not a bad idea.
I'm like, yeah, but then we have to leave all the windows open. So yeah, what's going on with me? it was a weird week over here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit topsy-turvy. Thomas doesn't usually work on Fridays, but then this Friday he has to work, so I'm a little confused about what day of the week it is because he's not here right
It's Friday,
now. It's Friday, but it doesn't feel like Friday. We didn't get our dinking around morning this morning. And yeah, I've been working on a new project that we're very excited about.
You're working hard this week on that.
Yeah, I'm working on it now. Formatting on this Kindle publisher is not the easiest thing. Like, they don't have bullet points, which is weird. So it's like, I'm kind of like having to futz, and it's a lot of futzing because I'm a perfectionist when it comes to layout. So the new project is, which is almost done. It's almost live. We have compiled 250 plus questions to ask divorce support professionals when you're hiring them and when you're working with them. So everything from how do I vet a potential divorce attorney to what questions do I ask them about custody, or to what do I call my credit card company and ask about divorce. And we're giving it away. We're just going to be giving it away on our website.
We're not even asking for an email address.
Email addresses or anything. I think a really interesting way of conducting business is to collect people's email addresses when they're going through these things so that you can get them on your mailing list. Or, as I've seen, people charge for questions. And there's a lot less questions that they charge for. I just don't believe that people who are navigating a crisis in any way in their lives should be passive income. That's like a thing that I believe. Like, so if you're like, oh, like here's like 20 questions about a funeral, like arranging a funeral, like that, you just give that away. That's not the time to ask people for their credit card. So we are going to be giving it away. We are going to be publishing it on Amazon. So if you want to buy a physical copy, you can, but that otherwise you can download it, the PDF, or you can download the EPUB, print out the PDF. I don't care. I just want to get it into people's hands. So yes, Olivia and I have been working together on compiling these questions. I've learned Affinity, which is a book layout software. And now I'm cleaning up the book in Kindle Create, which is like an EPUB software. And it's very cool. Like, it was very cool to see that. I have to figure out how to create a cover is the only thing, because I don't like the cover that like auto generates. But it's very, I don't know. I just feel very good about it. So yeah.
But the book, the hard copy will only be on Amazon, right? Because we're not pushing it out to everywhere.
I think it can be. I have an ISBN for it, so I can put it up on like bookshop.org.
Yeah, we're still going to keep it, obviously. Very affordable on the hard copy.
Yes.
But some people might want the hard copy because they want to take notes.
It's a great thing to give somebody.
I would want a hard copy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great thing to give somebody. But like I think somebody like my sister, like Olivia, would rather pay $10 for a hard copy than print out over 100 pages
or know how to download an EPUB. So
or a PDF. Yeah. And I think it's like 100-ish pages.
Yeah, I mean, it's a book. It's literally a book.
Yeah, and it's got all these questions, and it just we even cut sort of like the lines and like the journaling sections for most of it. I use them sometimes on like back pages because I want to format it properly. But because we wanted it to be like dense. We didn't want somebody to get it and be like, oh, there's like a lot of just like empty space here.
Yeah.
This is not, we're not trying to get we don't care about your email. We want you to feel safe and educated. That's all we care about.
Because you'll come back if you need us.
Yeah. And you know what? I'd rather you get the education and go elsewhere than like that's not, we're never making money off people who are going through fresh starts. So there's no money to be made. And so we are really excited about this. You're gonna be able to just download it from the homepage. Again, you do not have to put your email in. You can send it to whoever you want. Download it once, share it with your friends, email it around. We just want to get this information out to people. So that's what I've been working on.
There's nobody prepares you for this, right? Nobody tells you what to ask, who to ask, why you're asking these questions. Yes. And there's so many detailed things that people just don't realize that they need to ask.
There's a lot of things to think about. And I mean, even I laugh at myself. Like, it's a famous story that I won't get into, but like I didn't get off the lease when I left my ex, and that caused a lot of issues for me. I just assumed that he would be leaving. This is a question I should have asked. I assumed he'd move out of the house that we shared together.
I was still on a credit card from my ex, and because he gave me a copy.
Yeah, he made you a user.
Right, and I had no idea how to get off of it. So
yeah, it's really hard, these things, and there's so many things. And it really, I mean, when we talk about divorce, we were talking about this on the podcast we recorded yesterday with Liz Glenn, that it's not only a breakup of a relationship, it's a breakup of a family sometimes, it's a breakup of a dream, and it's a breakup of the series of contractual agreements. It is. That's why it's so complicated. I mean, I saw something yesterday that said a couple went to get divorced after 20 years, and then they found out that their marriage license had never been filed. So they said they could just walk away. And I was like, no, they couldn't. It doesn't, even if you're not maybe legally getting divorced, I had to do so much stuff to separate myself from my ex, and we weren't married.
No.
Nobody's just walking away from a long-term relationship.
No.
And it's really hard, and it's hard to know what questions to ask and what steps to take. So we just want to be there for people, and we will never charge you for that, for the downloads of that, for the EPUB or for the PDF.
Sorry, I was trying to think of something that I was going to share, but I can't remember the person's name. All of it. I'm so excited. We have so much great content coming out. I met with a bunch of women this week for divorce consults, which was always inspiring. Hooked them up with so many of our experts, which I love doing. And I'll tell you, our experts get back to people so fast. It's so wild to see. It's amazing. Oh my God, I'm trying to remember somebody's name.
You sent me these stickers this week. I have to figure out what to do with them.
Oh yeah. Oh, did you get your mail?
Yes, I did, by the way. Sorry.
I have a New York Magazine subscription, and then after I read, I like hard copies of it because I'll read it.
Again,
and then
I'm going to buy the book. She's the market.
And then in true big sister style, I rip out all the articles I think Jenny would like, and I send them to her. So she gets I give her the crossword. So she gets
I have to do them.
The once a month mail from me with stickers.
Do you know, sorry, I haven't even looked at these stickers yet. So there's one of Barack Obama looking cool. There's one that says baby steps still move us forward.
Yep.
There's one that says this llama doesn't want your drama. And then this one, I don't know if you know this. This one says there are years that ask questions and years that answer.
Neil Hurston.
No, I know that you know the quote.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what I'm about to tell you.
No.
Which is that I once wrote my ex an anniversary letter, a card that's had that quote in it, which I think is the darkest thing that I could have ever imagined. I was like, there are years that ask questions and years that answer, and this year asked a lot of questions. Oh my God, can you imagine? If you find yourself writing that in an anniversary letter, that is the equivalent of saying, we have had many ups and downs on Instagram.
Yes.
I need you to take a minute and reflect and see if you're okay. So that's very funny.
That's funny.
So that's, yes.
Well, and as a follow-up, speaking of exes, a couple weeks ago, I think we asked if my ex would buy Wyatt a guitar, and he is going to, so thank you for that.
Well, what's going on with your week? How was your week?
Well, I had a kid home for 2 days this week, and then again today. Nobody wants to go to school right now. And
but that's not why he's not going to school.
No, just generally speaking, everybody's tired.
Right. Even the people going to school don't want to go to school.
Yeah. I was so tired this week. I mean, I got my period, which is, on top of that.
Okay, cool.
You know what? I'm normalizing everything. Okay.
You were in the New York magazine talking about your periods.
Because I was going to talk about something on that too. I fell asleep at my desk 3 times this week, and I don't know why. I've been walking on still. I've been doing about 4 miles a day on my treadmill, which I adore. I try to arrange my day so that I get podcasts ready to edit, so I can edit them while I'm on the.
Let's talk about when you get to the end of this. I think an interesting thing to talk about, something I was talking about on my stories, is your schedule, when you work best. I'd be curious to hear about yours. I'll share mine.
Well, first, before that, I was just going to say I have bought myself all new Thinx underwear, for my birthday. And I just want to say, first of all, I don't have super heavy periods, but for me, it works great. And I was getting to bed last night, and I bought myself to go to sleep, boy short type of
cozy.
With my pajamas. And I was like, this is fucking revolutionary.
Yeah.
To go to sleep and just to be like, oh, I'm just gonna put my underwear on and I have my period.
Just be comfortable.
It's amazing.
You just exist as a person with your period.
Right.
And not have to have a whole big drama about it.
Right. Oh my God, it's amazing. I work really, really well early in the morning. And I would say early in the day. So anything before 1 o'clock, and then I kind of tap out.
Which is good because by your 1 o'clock, it's my 6 o'clock, and that's when I'm usually.
I used to think I worked well at night, but that's because I had to work at night.
Right.
I think I work.
Do you find that there are certain times of day that you do better different kinds of work? Like I find 10 to 12 before, or if I'm up a little earlier, I tend to not get into my office until about 10. And I do good, if there's writing, if there's a press query, if there's emails to respond to, that's when I like to do that kind of stuff, or bookkeeping, which I have to do for this month. And
that's a good question.
That, sort of 10 to 12. And then 12 to 2 is sort of flex time, do grocery shopping, whatever, lunch. And then 2 to 6 is usually when we do our coaching, our calls, I do networking within that time. I'm pretty up. Podcasting is great within that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then after dinner, sort of that's 8 o'clock to 10:30, 11 window. I try not to take many calls. I used to take more. I don't love doing it, but I will do a podcast if it comes up. I have a call with somebody coming up, special things. And then quiet work. Last night I sat down and I was I'm just going to format the ebook. And then I was I'm going to format the ebook until the sun goes down, because then I can go and watch TV and it'll be nice and cozy. And then at 10:30, I noticed it was pitch black in the office and I was still sitting there working. And I was what time is it? So I got really lost in that. I like work that I can get kind of lost in it.
Well, that's what it's not for me as much as what I think times of day I can work best. It's what else is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to writing and stuff I can only do when the kids are at school.
Right.
But things even editing the podcast, doing blog posts, engaging on social media, doing reels, I can do all of those kind of throughout the day. Especially usually around 7 to 10, we're hanging out in my office while it's playing video games.
Right.
I'll be on my computer, doing threads, prepping blog posts, Instagram reels, things like that. So, but things any deep thought stuff I can only do, I would say between 9 and 12.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think to my schedule too, it's not so much what feels good at those times. It's what can I do? At 10 to 12, you're not, it's 5 a.m. your time. So I can't do anything that involves you. So I do those things, networking from 2 to 6 makes sense because that's 9 to 1 Eastern. Right. I mentioned this because Beth messaged me and she was I screenshotted your schedule because it's great. And so I was I think this might be helpful. I think it's interesting. We get this idea that we're just supposed to be available to do anything at any time, but
no,
I have to structure my time based on the hours, Eastern hours, and also my energy. I can't take a 15-minute call. I don't want to take a 15-minute call at 8 o'clock at night. I'm not my best. I'm tired by then,
No. I do my best pitching, when I do press stuff in the morning. If that's why I've been trying to wake up early. I get up at 6 now, and I'll eat before the kids get up and then go on and do my press stuff. And so I'll pitch really quick. I'll send, stuff out. So, I think it's interesting. It's going to be different this summer, but while it's hard to have the kids home, it's also nice because then they can sleep later if they do.
They're at a point where they're sleeping later now too.
So then I have a little bit more time, but I'm still going to wake up at 6 in the summer because I want my time.
That's when you'll get all your work done between 6 and 10 when they wake up. And then you'll be, I want that for you. I want you to be able to take summertime and go to the pool.
Yeah.
And, Thomas and I
can do a lot on my phone, obviously, too, which is nice. My 2 phones.
Yeah, a lot of the interacting social
Would you like to hear my Snapple fact?
I would. You know what? I've never wanted anything more than to hear your Snapple fact.
Except I feel I'm going to mispronounce this word. What, APHID? Is it aphid?
Aphid. Aphid. Aphid or aphid? Aphid, I think, actually.
The aphid or aphid.
Aphid.
Insect is born pregnant. That sounds miserable.
I don't think they experience pregnancy the same way we do. Does that help you?
I hope so.
Yeah, I don't think they have a what to expect when you're an aphid.
I really miss Snapple glass bottles.
Rip in peace glass bottles. Yeah,
I wish that they had them. Anyway, okay, what was a win of your week this week?
What was a win of my week? I I don't know if this is really what you're going for, but I bought an ice maker last year because we have a freezer, but it's chest freezer and it's bigger than we need, so we just unplugged it. So, and it's also very inconveniently placed. Like, it's in our box closet and it's got like stuff on top of it. And so I like ice. And if you've ever been to Europe in the summer, you know, you order an iced coffee and it is not what you're looking for as an American. And so I bought an ice maker and it was like $100, and I was like, I really hope I don't not use this. I have it going all the time, pretty much. Like, I wake up in the morning, put water in it, and start it up.
It's like your coffee.
It's my coffee. Yeah, exactly. And I love it. And like, even if I don't end up drinking something with ice in it, like, I'll just put it in my cup, and then I love having, like, it stays cold forever, my cup. But I bought myself like a Starbucks cup so that I could like feel like I'm having it, and I make myself iced coffee and make myself iced tea and half and halves, which some people call Arnold Palmers. On Long Island, we call them half and halves. Somebody said to me that's called an Arnold Palmer, and I was like, no, it's not on Long Island. I know what an Arnold Palmer is. And yeah, that's been like, it's just been such a winner of my week to know that I'm going to have ice at home. I love having ice at home. And it also saves me a lot of money not buying disappointing iced coffees.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well worth it. So that's been my win. I'm sure I'll think of something else that's more.
No, I love that one.
Existential, but
I've been drinking diet soda again, and honestly, it's nice.
Thomas turned to me the other night, and we're watching a show. He goes, "Do you know, I had a cream soda phase for a while in my life," and I was like, "Me too."
Cream soda is so good.
Like, I see you. Me too. Yeah, cream soda is so good.
Well, my win is that I've taken over our publicity. I'm officially the publicister now, as I like to call myself.
There's a shirt that she needs.
And we had a beautiful piece in Forbes magazine this week.
Oh yeah, that's better than an ice maker.
Yeah,
but I have to leave it for you.
So a little background, and it's a fascinating story. Is I meant Threads. If I say tweet, I mean Threads.
Yeah, let's level set here. If she says tweet, she means Threads. Nobody's tweeting anymore.
No. R.I.P. Twitter. I have a lot of feelings about that. So on Threads, a couple weeks ago, I put that very simple thread about like crying in home goods over being able to buy pink towels after a divorce. And the thread went viral, and all of these women were saying that they also bought pink things after their divorce. And I started to see this trend. I'm a sociologist at heart, so when trends patterns start coming up, I take a look at what's going on. And I knew I have enough background in PR to know that what journalists really want is a good story that went viral and photos. They really need photos. Even if they don't use the photos, they need to see the photos. So this thread happened to have wonderful photos of people's bedrooms and rugs and bathrooms that were pink. And we have a dear friend, Amanda Lauren, who's a journalist, fantastic journalist. She writes for Real Simple and Forbes, and she's been around. I mean, I've been working with her for 10 years, and she's done amazing.
Where is she based?
California, and she comes to the Hamptons in the summer. Yeah, and she has an adorable little girl, Carlin, and I've literally been working with her since I started in PR. And so I emailed her and I said, I think this would be a really good story. I'm going to give you the exclusive for this. And she emailed me right back, and she was like, don't pitch this out to anybody else. Let's do this. And she put together a gorgeous story. Yeah. We had one of our other experts, Bonnie Scott, the therapist, was in it. And it's just an awesome piece about post-divorce interior design and the color pink.
And I have a follow-up question, but I have something to say, which is that we sent out an email to our community about it, and I made everything pink because that seemed appropriate. And the feedback I'm understanding is that people want more color in our emails.
Oh,
because
interesting.
Vivi was like, I love the facelift. And I was like, that's an interesting word that you used there. So I'm going to be using more color in our emails. But that was a fascinating feedback.
I think we're using more color generally, with the watercolor and stuff.
So my question for you is, and I have an answer for this too, like, what was I know pink was part of it for you, but like, what was some stuff that you got to decorate with once your ex-husband left? Or like you're decorating your space with now, like, that you got to like own?
I really love like art color, like arty, like
you do. You're pretty maximalist with your style.
I am like palettes and colors. I love rainbows. I really do. I was thinking about this yesterday. I love rainbows. There's something very like special about them. The color organization to me, but I think
listen, it's what the nature wants is the
Right,
color
exactly.
organization.
I love bold colors. I love to wear bold colors. I always have. I mean, I'm a quilter at heart. So, yeah, I think, I put up the gold mirrors after he left. I put up a lot of
The gold
posters.
mirrors, yeah.
I love crystals. I love all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
I would say, and pink too. My quilt right now, my bed is pink.
Yeah. Olivia has the best like sheets, like mix, like she does a great job of like mix and
thank you.
matching her sheets
Thank you.
too. It's like they're
The
so
floral, yep.
70s floral mama, like
Mhm.
divorced mom, like living
Yeah.
in an apartment with her 2 sons and like a
Yeah.
Rhoda.
Yeah.
It's very vibey.
Thank you. Yeah. What did you put up that was different?
My bed in my old flat,
Right.
my old apartment on Long Island.
Right.
I had really, really wanted a gold or like brass bed. And my ex always said it would feel like a hospital, which is interesting because he's from the USSR.
Mhm.
And so it actually makes a lot of sense because like that's not hospitals in
Yeah, I was
America.
gonna say that, yeah.
And the other thing was white sheets. And he was like, it feels like hospital. And so when I moved into my place, we couldn't find a brass bed that I wanted. So Pat, our amazing stepfather, and I like sanded and then spray painted a bed. And our mom was like, "Why are you doing this?" And I was like, "Because I can." And so it's in storage now. I don't know if anybody wants that bed, but I brought all of my white sheets here, and I said to Thomas, because I was nervous that he wouldn't want my white sheets because I don't know, men seem weird about white sheets. And so I was like, "Do you care if the sheets are white?" And he goes, "I just care that the sheets stay on the bed because we have been living with a lot of sheets that kept coming off the bed." And so I have my white sheets back. And I think that was a big thing. And then just like hanging art, which is actually an interesting thing. Like I hang art with like abandon. Like I don't care.
Yep.
I'm very like I just like know what looks good and I know what feels good and I just do it. And it's funny because Thomas is professional at framing and hanging
literally
art. That is what he does. Yes.
Yeah.
And he takes care of art and he's a conservator. And so he thinks I have a good eye. I think it scares him that I hang things on one nail, but he says, "Good job, baby." And he just celebrates me and he lets me hang art however I want. There is a very lovely piece that we got as a wedding gift that he has not let me hang or not let me frame. He's like, I'll take care of that one. He's like, I got to get real glass. But I think the art, just getting art up on the walls, like I feel like for both of us, your ex, like he like screwed, he like was worried things were going to fall. So he would like screw into the walls.
Yeah.
And
It was
then
a lot.
I think for just my ex, it just was like, I don't know. It was such a minimalistic aesthetic that I was allowed to have there. It was very minimalist.
Yeah. So that was cool. That was really cool. That was like a really awesome piece.
That was very exciting.
And we had some other really great connections this week. So things are moving and shaking. And I really do love being a publicist. It makes me, it's so funny because I didn't really know that was like a job option back then, but I feel like I love it. I'm very good at it.
But I feel like you would have still taken the path that you took because I think that like I feel like we've said this before that like the jobs that were like available for publicists back in like 2000 and
not freelance. Yeah.
Well, when 2007 when you graduated, you would have had to go to the city and you didn't want to do that.
No.
You didn't want to do that. No.
So that was exciting this week. We have to say our bad things or
the
negatives
pain of the week. I don't know. It was an okay week.
I was tired.
I think honestly, the pain of my week is finding out that people charge for divorce education resources. Like that bums me out.
Well, what did I just tell you this morning? I was doing some research. The average American divorce, I have it here.
Yes, I think I remember.
$11,300. That's average. Most of them are closer to 20.
And I know it doesn't sound like a lot to be like, oh, just pay $10 for this guide, but I don't know why we're doing that. I just don't. That bums me out. It makes me really upset.
Yeah.
It's just not the time. Especially because, like, if you want to sell them, like, I think that, services are wonderful. And I think that, like, coaching and, like, working with somebody is wonderful. And I even think, like, but this idea that people going through a divorce are generating your passive income, I don't know. It doesn't feel good to me personally.
Not in this day and age, right?
Not with like ChatGPT and AI and everything like that, where they can just chat like.
Right, it's one thing like just to use a divorce coach or a co-parenting coach or like service like that,
or even somebody's like virtual course, like if they have like a really good virtual course. But I think a lot of people package things like videos or PDFs and they just sell them and they're not really helpful. Or they're not well done. And I think that's part of it too. It's like, if you're going to charge somebody for something, like you need to be offering good exclusive information. And it's really hard. Like the questions that you have to ask a divorce attorney are not exclusive information. You can chat GPT that. Now, I understand that people don't want to. I'm happy to compile those questions, to aggregate them and give them away though. Like I'm not going to charge for that, frankly.
I almost see it like the information. Like any of those questions we put in that ebook really are things that like if you've been through a divorce, you kind of know to ask, right? So it's like almost like what your sister or your best friend would tell you.
Exactly.
None of that should be paid for, right? Like
I'd rather not make the money. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather not make that money. I'd rather and I've gone on record before. Like we've left like millions of dollars on the table, and I'm happier for it. I'd rather be this person than millions of dollars richer, frankly. Like I can't take it with me and I have to live in this body with the choices that I've made. And so I just think, yes, I think you're right. Like a lot of these questions, a lot of this information is like the things that women say in rooms to each other.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't want to charge for that.
No. And I want to, I guess I'm going to, my weekly wisdom is going to be related to that, which is something I've been thinking about a lot.
Now?
Oh, I've just been really tired. I was like so tired this week.
You and Wyatt both tired.
I know. I think we're staying up. Yeah, staying up.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about this a lot. When it comes to divorce, I think, it's so emotional and people don't realize that we're living in an age of social media and it's really dangerous to put certain information on social media when you are going through a divorce or when your divorce isn't finalized or quite frankly, anytime about an ex-partner. If you watch my story over the last 4 years, I talk about my experience and it's not that I don't shy away from things. I talk about emotional abuse. I talk about financial abuse.
Yeah.
But I don't talk about my ex. In fact, I was just laughing last night. I'll say it here because I don't know how many people listen to this, but I was laughing because I was like using ChatGPT and I was like, give me like just for fun. So I was like, give me some blog ideas about divorcing a banjo player. And it gave me like
people, it's okay to say that he's a banjo player.
He is a banjo player. You can Google, but again, that you could find it on YouTube.
Right.
But like, I would never like post that, right? Like, it was just like funny for me. Right. But I think that to get serious though, there's a lot of things I'm seeing a lot of things that women are posting on social media that can be used against you. And this is I saw somebody that was having kind of like a breakdown on social media and it was like continuing for a few days and ultimately she's going to be leaving. I guess she was trying to leave her husband and she was threatening things on social media and saying like, I have information about him that he doesn't know I have. And like, the thing is this. It became very clear to me within seconds of my marriage imploding that anything could be used against me for custody. Yeah. Right. To get my.
Yeah.
And that's all stuff like anything. That was just me. That was just hearsay, us yelling at each other. That wasn't us posting on social media or anything like that. Like, and it scares the shit out of me to think that there's a lot of women who are posting kind of unhinged things.
I think that people feel like they have to recognize the difference between it shouldn't be used against me, but that doesn't mean you should post it and it will be used against you. Like, just because, like, well, I agree. You should be able to post whatever you want. Right. But that doesn't mean that it won't be used against you. And we don't want you to be in a situation where you regret that because it's now been used against you.
Well, and also something you and I do we've taken years to kind of hone this is that we ask why are we posting this?
Yeah.
Right? What's the purpose of posting this? What's for me, a lot of it is sharing information, opening a dialogue, right? I posted this week about financial abuse and how a lot of people are like,
right.
oh, you have
And
two incomes. And I'm like, well,
it's
I
always
didn't see
funny,
the other
like,
income.
when people, like, I'll post about something about, like, you know, if a man, like, I don't know, like, treats you in this way, that, and people will reach out and be like, I hope you're okay. I'm like, I run a company that supports people going through divorce. Like, this isn't about me. I'm doing this to start a conversation. And I'm not saying that it is about me. I'm
It's
not
a lot of
pretending
social
anything.
commentary. Right.
Yeah.
Right. But, you know, what was my point? I think that I had a point there.
Well, they have to be careful. I mean, I think that this gets into a conversation of community versus audience, which is my same
why we're
conversation.
posting things. Why we're posting things.
Yeah.
I was saying, right. So, like, a lot of it for me, so other people don't feel alone. So that it starts a dialogue. It's social commentary. The amount of DMs I get from people that are like, thank you for talking about this.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
That's why I do that.
Right.
I'm not
to take
sharing
down somebody.
And actually, I have not, and I will say this with full confidence, I have not posted one photo of my ex in any of my social media since we split up. Not one.
No, same.
Yeah. And you know, there's these people women on, and I say women because that's what I see.
They deserve their privacy. They didn't choose this.
No.
You know, they knew that they were getting with brassy ladies when they
and
got
he's
with us.
remarried. He has another kid. Like, that's their life. Like, you know, like, that's whatever. Like,
yeah, he didn't choose this. This isn't something that they've opted into.
And
I mean, I barely share Thomas. Like,
right.
You know, I think that I've been thinking about this a lot, Olivia, because, you know, my thing is always authentic versus intimate.
Right.
I want to be authentic, but I'm not going to be intimate. Like, nobody on the internet has ever seen a picture of my husband and I kissing. That's not unintentional.
Right.
Why do you need to see a picture of us kissing? That's weird. Why would you want to look at that? But you also, like, know a little bit about our story. I am very authentic. I am who I am on the internet, but there's things that are intimate in my life, my relationships with him, with my family, with my friends, that I'm not going to share. And I think this gets into a conversation of community versus audience. And I think that people confuse their audience for their community, and those are not the same thing. Your audience is not your community, and your community is part of your audience. But you know, your audience, you cannot, it's not safe. And we want people to be safe, and we want them to be careful. We did a workshop like years ago with Kara, didn't we, about this?
Yeah, and there's an episode we have on social media too.
Yeah.
Divorce happens. But I just think people, maybe I'll do some blog posts about it too, because I feel like people don't understand that your social media can be pulled in as evidence that you're not mentally fit to be a parent. You know, people screenshot things. Like, you have to be careful.
Also, just like at the borders, like, you have to be careful now too.
Yeah.
Like, for your phone's going to get grabbed when you come back into the States. Like, this is not how we want it to be. Let me be very clear. This is not how we want it to be. But we also understand the reality of the situation.
Also, blocking means nothing. Like, I hope that people understand it. Like, if you're like, oh, I blocked my ex and his family.
He can't see it. Well, they can still see it.
Yes, he can. Everybody can see anything.
Olivia and I have seen accounts that we know are people in our ex's lives that are watching us. Like, trust me, they can it's not hard to make an Instagram account to watch you. It's not hard to see your stories if they're blocked. That's not, no. If it's on the internet, it's on the internet. Like,
there's no such thing as close friends.
And close friends doesn't exist.
Nothing.
Yeah, no. People can screenshot. I've had it happen. People have screenshotted stuff and
don't. I'm going to say, like, if it's something super sensitive, call a friend. Don't even text it. Like, especially with divorce, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like, there were things I did not want in screenshots because you don't know who's saying things to people. Like, even your best friend could screenshot it to go send to her husband to show him or her sister, and then it goes to the wrong place. So, like, you know, you just have to be really careful because people can claim things about you when you post things online. And if you're posting unhinged videos of yourself, you know, threatening your ex-husband or soon-to-be ex-husband, it's dangerous. Like, be careful. You know? So that was my weekly wisdom, is be careful what you put on the internet.
Because, again, I'm going to say this again. It's not how we want it to be, but is unfortunately the reality of the situation and the reality of the courts and the reality of divorcing somebody that does not want the best for you. You know what I mean? I think
that's what a lawyer's job is.
That's another piece that people don't understand, is that when you're getting divorced, that's not the person you married. Like, and I mean, in a lot of ways, it is the person you married, but you're going to see parts of them that you didn't expect. I mean, I think we've talked about this before too, of women being like shocked that they go to the man that's been abusing them, and when they tell them they're leaving, the abuse gets worse. It's like, or they'll say, like, I'm going to call the cops, and then the guy, you know, really hurts them, and it's like, yeah, no, he really wanted to hurt you. That's what he wanted to do.
Well, it's so hard to think that there's people out there that want to hurt
and
you.
that you had children with them, maybe, or that you lay next to them, or that you're most vulnerable with them, or they know your secrets, or they know the thing that you said about your mom. Like that's a really scary thing. There's a John Mulaney quote that's like, if you've seen my penis and you know my parents, but like we're not together anymore, like I don't think you should exist, basically, because it's like it's too vulnerable. It's so vulnerable. Divorce, and I think divorce is all of that. It's like the dissolution of not your marriage, but like the dream and the secrets and the vulnerabilities. Like it's just a huge explosion.
Yeah. What's your weekly wisdom?
I don't. Well, again, why am I unprepared for this every time?
It's fine.
I was talking to Meg, my friend Meg, who lives here, who Olivia introduced me to just today, about how curiosity is just sort of the number one thing in lives, and how curiosity over ego is so important. I said this on Liz Glenn's podcast. I said this on Jenny Says So. If somebody says or does something that sits funny with you, get curious about why they would say or do that. Get curious with yourself about why that sits funny with you. When we talk about divorce registries, if you are in a community with somebody that has a divorce registry and that makes you feel bad or mad or sad, uncomfortable, I think that you should get curious with yourself about why that's happening. So curiosity, they say that therapy is there to create an observational self. And to me, that's kind of the same thing of like, oh, that's interesting. Why did I respond that way? I think that it's a relationship builder. And I think it's like a supercharger for yourself and for relationships and for your ego. So
I love that.
Ego in a positive way, like who you are, strengthening yourself. Yeah. That's my get curious.
Yeah. And you can get curious with joy, which is, I put that in a pitch
this week. Get curious with what brings you joy, for sure. Yeah.
Or just with enthusiasm, to get curious with enthusiasm.
Yeah. I mean, I think looking at yourself as a sort of fascinating creature and not as like why did I feel that that's bad? But, that's interesting. Like,
Right.
I think coming at things with, that's interesting. It's a very judgment-free way of approaching yourself.
Yeah.
That's by the way, you said we shouldn't, we don't have to go for an hour.
Yeah,
as if it's, no, I'm happy to go for an hour. It was just funny to me because it's like,
if you haven't caught up with our podcast, this week on A Fresh Story, we released an episode with Emily Westerfield, who is a gestational surrogate and owns a surrogacy agency.
Yes.
Well, I say this every time, but I always say one of the most interesting episodes we've ever done. But truly, like every episode is fascinating.
We just keep making more and more interesting episodes.
They're so great. If you've ever had questions about surrogacy, we really talk about everything from what they're paid to why they're paid and what the money covers and how it works and how you have a surrogate in another state as you and the whole process. So she's fantastic. She was wonderful to talk to. It is right before this episode. So go down your feed and you can listen to it.
Scroll back.
Right. Scroll back one. And then, we have some more great ones coming out. We have a lot of episodes of Divorce Happens out. Last week I put out, 4. So go check out those. Those are fantastic. This week's episode of Jenny Says So was about
getting
curious. What happens when your friends change plans on you last minute and are kind of rude about it?
Well, I couldn't say that they were rude about it. They thought they were rude about it.
There was some reading into some.
There was reading into text. Again, get curious. Getting curious.
So, and we have officially launched and 5 podcasts. We have How She Does It All. How Does She Do It All? That's the name of the podcast. How Does She Do It All? We have 2 episodes out now with Adrienne Wright. The first one we put out, which is I would say a beautiful episode about.
Yeah, I love that episode.
Yeah, she's just fantastic.
What was she talking about? Your recipe for joy,
recipe for peace, and teaching your children the recipe for peace. Yeah, and then Scarlett Longstreet's episode is out, which I haven't promoted yet. So if nobody's listened to it yet, but it is out, and her episode is about why we're not really supposed to say that we enjoy our time away from our kids, and how she works as a work-at-home mom, and she has 60% custody, and it just was super interesting. She has 3 daughters and how she manages it all. So And then the next 2 episodes are going to be my episode and then our friend Leslie Gray Streeter. So stay tuned for that. Anything else before we go?
No, I've noticed the dimple in my chin is back, though. Have you noticed that?
Oh, no.
Can't see it. Yeah, that's all I got. Please clip that out and put that on social media. I think people will love that.
Well, the dimple is back. And
dimple is back, baby.
We hope you have a wonderful weekend. And we'll see you next Friday.
It's a fresh story, come and see. With Olivia and Jenny, be who you need to be. Honest voices, safe and strong. Come as you are, you belong. So take a breath, let's begin. You're not alone, we're here again.